everyone from the US, in the US side, and good evening to all the participants from India. Welcome to the second webinar of MeitY and NSF collaboration. We have with us the teams from National Science Foundation, NSF, and Ministry of Electronics and IT. Let me just introduce my team to you. I am Sunita Verma. I'm the group coordinator for R&D in electronics and R&D in IT in the Ministry of Electronics and IT. I'll start with my team. I'll just call out name, Kamlesh.
Good morning. I'm Kamlesh Kumar. I'm looking after the Intelligent Transportation Division. And I'm also coordinating this program for MeitY-NSF. Thank you.
Marwaji.
Good morning to everyone on the US side and good evening to participants from India. I am SK Marwa. I'm the group coordinator for R&D in the Convergence, Communications and Broadband Technologies in the Ministry of Electronics and IT.
Thank you. Surendra.
Yeah, good morning and good evening to all. I'm Surendra Kumar Gotrawal. I'm working in Ministry of Electronics and IT as a scientist. I'm working in e-waste management, circular economy, and energy storage devices. Thank you.
Thank you. Nishit.
Hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. This is Nishit Gupta, scientist, Ministry of Electronics and IT, and I'm broadly looking into the semiconductor area of this NSF MeitY call for proposal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Om.
Yeah, good morning and good evening to everyone. I'm Om Krishan Singh. I'm scientist in Ministry of Electronics and IT. I look after technology development in electric vehicle as well as power electronics technology. Thank you.
Tarun.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. I am Tarun Pandey, scientist D, working in MeitY, and I'm looking into cybersecurity division. And on this collaboration, I am looking into cybersecurity projects. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will request Kate that you can introduce the team from NSF.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Sunita. My name is Kate Planley. I am a program director at the National Science Foundation in the Office of International Science and Engineering. And I'm joined by my colleague today, Dr. Mohan Kumar, who is a program director in the Directorate for Computer and Information Science and Engineering. We're thrilled to be representing NSF and be with you today. The NSF and the US research community recognize the strengths in India, and so we're very excited for this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Mohan.
Good evening and good morning, everyone. And thank you, Sunita, and the MeitY team for organizing this. Looking forward to talking to you and looking forward to this collaboration between MeitY and NSF. I'm a program director in the Computer and Information Science and Engineering Directorate at the NSF. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the second webinar. The earlier one we had on 8th of September. So just to give you the brief background of the MeitY-NSF collaboration, MeitY, Ministry of Electronics and IT and National Science Foundation had signed an implementation arrangement in May 23 for research collaboration in various areas. And during the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to US, the Indo-US joint statement was published, wherein the National Science Foundation and MeitY will be bringing the fresh funding for joint projects in applied research. And we have identified 5 areas to begin with. The 5 areas are semiconductor research, next generation communication technologies, network systems, cybersecurity, sustainable and green technologies, and intelligent transportation system. The guidelines and the eligibility criteria, the documents which are required for the proposal, these will be can be obtained from the websites, which will be shared with you during this webinar. And there will be a single proposal and we'll be telling you more about the proposal, how the format, and etc. We will quickly take you through the various areas of collaboration that have been identified for this first call for a proposal. The joint call was announced on 21st of August, 2023, and it will close on 5th of January, 2024. And we will now take you through the various areas and the expectations, and also the proposals that can be submitted, both from India as well as US, for funding from MeitY and under this collaboration. The Ministry of Electronics and IT supports R&D projects in the area of electronics and information technology. This time, for this call for proposal, which is going to end on 5th of January, we have identified 5 areas. And there are various divisions in the ministry which look after these areas. There is Microelectronics Development Division, the Electronics Materials and Components Division, the Electronic System Design and Automation Division, also the Cyber Security Divisions, R&D in Cyber Security Division, and R&D in Communication Convergence and Broadband Technologies Divisions. So these divisions are there, and we have representatives and officers from these various divisions who will take you through the areas that we are funding and which we are looking forward to the submission from India and US. Next, please. So now I'll request Nishit Gupta, who is looking after the microelectronics group, to give his brief expectations and what the areas covered are.
Thank you, Sunita Madam, for the overall summary and the nice introduction. Let me quickly provide you the top-down visibility about the broad thought process for this line entry item of semiconductor research from MeitY standpoint. Broadly, the overall intent is to highlight that it's important to nurture the semiconductor material, processes, and circuits. When I say circuits, it means the digital as well as analog circuits, which can be IP cores, chips, system on chips, SoCs, in the area of semiconductor design, manufacturing, and packaging. So MeitY generally believes in supporting the application-oriented research and hence provides trust to the key growth areas, including, which are not limited to the following, like circuits for the next-gen computing and communication technologies like AI chips, processors, memories, interconnects, RF and MM wave, terahertz technologies, chiplet packaging, heterogeneous integration, semiconductor equipment and EDA tool development, novel semiconductor processes, design methodologies, flows and approaches leading to the development of advanced capabilities and inter-regional collaboration. So broadly, this is the overall summary where the proposals can be submitted. And as you might be aware of, that India has announced the India Semiconductor Mission, wherein an attempt is being made to attract the fab as well as strengthen the already existing fabless chip design ecosystem. While the effort of this mission will require to nurture the entire semiconductor value chain, starting from the materials to exotic processes, including device modeling, the low-hanging fruit here is the fabless chip design area, which not only adds a significant value addition, but also represent an independent business segment for startup ecosystem to flourish. So we believe that there's an immense potential of growth in the domestic startup ecosystem, and many of the Indian academia and startups are working in the area of fabless chip design, be it an area of automotive, wireless communication and computing. And many of them are developing cutting-edge circuits, for instance, SerDes, PLLs, RISC-V microprocessors, analog front-ends, accelerators, AI and neuromorphic chips. So all of them are certainly be the part of the interest here in the NSF MeitY joint call for proposal. So it will be of great interest to see if some of the research projects from this NSF MeitY initiative culminates into a deep tech startup working for the next gen ASIC and circuits and IP cores. So looking forward for this great learning experience during this MeitY-NSF journey for corporate proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nishit. Now we go to the next area. So I'll request Shri Tarun Pandey to give a brief on the cybersecurity R&D and the expectations.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning and good evening, everyone, once again. Nishit, it was a great pleasure. You explained everything very clearly. So I'm looking to cybersecurity R&D from MeitY, and the main aim, our aim is to development of indigenous technology, product solutions, and building security testing and certification capability. During this call, the sub-areas it refers embedded system, IoT security, forensics, mobile device security, threat intelligence, AI ML based threat modeling, network and system security, critical infrastructure, industrial security, detection and mitigation of malware, and risk mitigation. It's like everything is not covered in one slide. So it's like we are working on, we will be looking project into cloud security, endpoint security, mobile security. But overall, the aim is to get output which is usable to industry, any agencies, where we can find out some tangible outcome coming out of this project's initiative. So our expectation is technology development, demonstration, maybe in terms of development of prototype, pilot scale demonstration, field development, deployment, and the effort to escalate technology transfer. In addition to above proposals submitted with industry collaboration, including cash and in-kind contribution will be encouraged. We already have a number of projects where we are working into cyber forensic tools. If we can get something on cyber forensic tool, something on Android security, application security, threat intelligence include network and endpoint security, zero trust. So these are all the areas of interest. And other than whatever mentioned in the slide, we are still open for many of the different areas which cannot be mentioned in a single slide. Thank you once again. And over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tarun. You've explained very well. Yes, so we are looking for applied research with cash or kind contribution from the other companies or industry from India. Yes. So next is the green and sustainable technologies. So here we are looking at proposals with respect to electronics. So I would now request Shri Surinder Gotharwal to just give a brief. Surendra? Okay, so this slide shows briefly the areas in which ministry has already funded projects, or these are the ongoing initiatives of ministry which are supported at various agencies. Surendra, you are there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry
Okay.
for this. Actually, there's some network issue. So good evening and good morning to all. Actually, this NSF and this MeitY collaboration, or the basic and objective already given by Sunita ma'am and Nishit and Tarun. So thanks to all. So now, as we know, this e-waste, electronic waste is the global challenge, and we all are facing this issue. But we think this is not a waste; we can treat it as a wealth. As we know, this after China, US, and India is the largest generator of e-waste management, e-waste generator. So this Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India started their e-waste management journey in 10 years back. So we have come up some few technologies like PCB recycling, lithium-ion battery, solar panel, permanent magnet recycling technology. We already developed it pilot level, or we already commercialized. So in this area, we are looking few and next areas like catalytic convert type of recovery of rare earths from catalytic convert can be developed, and some identification segregation of e-waste component using artificial intelligence can be a new proposed area, and solar grade silicon from spent solar panels may be very new emerging area for us. And the waste to energy, as we know, this lot of materials we are not able to extract from our waste, e-waste, PCBs, lithium and battery. So that waste can be converted into energy that can be reused as a fuel. So these type of proposal now we are seeking here, some eco design and green products. That if we can come up some new designs or new products, then have hazardous materials, or they can be reused, or they can be recycled easily. So these type of areas we are looking here, and some cost-effective recycling technology. So this is about e-waste. Then now coming to this green and renewable energy generation and storage. So we are looking for new proposals or new collaboration from India and US side on fuel cell technology. We have developed some very small level, but we are looking for a kilowatt level of fuel cell technology, and solar cell new technologies are coming with high efficiency. Then hydropower, and we already developed some few technology on lithium and battery, sodium and battery, supercapacitor. Now we are looking some good application oriented proposals on hybrid batteries, and this hydrogen generation and storage. So this is from all from my side. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Surendra. So again, these are the indicative areas in which we are, or the priority areas, but we are not limited to just these areas. Yes, thank you. So green and sustainable technology being an important area, we are also looking at the other aspects of research. So Shri Om Krishan will just explain about the other initiatives in green and sustainable technologies.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I'm audible, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So as Surendra Gotwal mentioned, like different kind of battery storage in the green energy solution. So just to promote the green energy transportation sector, electric vehicle is playing a very important role. It is being introduced in every country. So at this point of time, I mean, R&D and technology development, especially in different kind of motors, controllers, and different kind of DC-DC converters becomes very important to make our electric vehicle highly efficient, cost effective, and quality competitive. So we are looking forward, especially in these subsystem development area, because here in our country, more than 80% of the vehicle is two-wheeler, three-wheeler. So initially we have taken some steps to develop this kind of technology. Now we want to take it forward to highly efficient permanent magnet motors and different kind of drive systems, synchronous reluctance motor, multi-phase motors, and their drive system based on the wide bandgap based devices. As far as charger is concerned, as we know that charger is also onboard charger, as well as the charging system for charging the electric vehicle is also, it is very important because of the their safety, their reliability. So currently it is being developed, but now we are looking forward the proposals, the collaboration in wide bandgap based charger for fast charging. So these are the few area in electric vehicle subsystem development we are looking forward. Along with that, as we know that in India, it has targeted to install 500 gigawatt renewable energy sources. So for that, based on the solar, wind, and biomass. So for that, there is need of different kind of power converters, controllers at different power ranges. So at that point of time, power electronics play a very important role. So we are looking forward the different kind of converters, different kind of controller development, intelligent grid, microgrid manager development, because in some of the initiative, because in the India there are many places in hilly region where it is not connected to the grid. So we have developed microgrid powered by the solar. Now we are looking forward how it can be connected to on grid, how the interconnection of the grid can be done. So that kind of technology is required. And not only the development, there is field deployment, and we are looking forward the technology transfer to the industry so that it commercial viable solution we can develop. And third, as we know that LVDC technology currently in all the appliances in home, building, everywhere, basically it is powered by DC power. But due to AC, lot of converters is required, so efficiency is being decreased. So this LVDC,
we'll have to rush.
Low voltage direct current and high voltage direct current technology is being developed, is looking forward how it can be taken forward. So, and not only this technology development, because this is very very niche area of electric vehicles. So joint contribution in global standard setting up in EV area, it is required in this particular area. And from the Indian point of view, in the industry collaboration, especially for the commercial viability, their manufacturer capability, including cash and kind contribution, we are looking forward in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Next. Now I'll request Shri Sudhir Kumar Marwaji, the group coordinator for R&D in communication and broadband technologies, to give us a.
Thank you, Smita ma'am. Coming to the next generation communication technologies, network and systems, the suggested areas include connected and autonomous vehicles. The research should focus on enhancing the connectivity, reliability, and security of communication systems for connected autonomous vehicles. In the 6G communication systems, the emphasis should be placed on achieving unprecedented data rates and ultra-low latency. The next area is terahertz systems, wherein we need to explore innovative applications and components for terahertz communication systems, including terahertz sources, detectors, and waveguides. In the area of non-terrestrial networks, research should center on communication, airborne platforms, and other non-terrestrial solutions to extend the network coverage and capacity. Under the area of full duplex, we need to investigate techniques to enable simultaneous transmission and reception on the same frequency channel, overcoming interference and enabling efficient spectrum utilization. In the visual light communication area, we are looking at exploring the potential of VLC communication for data transmission in the indoor environments. Under the category of advanced AI and ML in communication, research should focus on leveraging AI and machine learning to enhance the communication systems, including optimization, security, network management, and resource allocation. Coming to terahertz building blocks, the research should contribute to the development of essential building blocks such as terahertz transceivers, amplifiers, and antennas to enable the terahertz communication systems. The intelligent reflecting surfaces area should investigate the design and development of IRS in real-world scenarios, optimizing their placement and configuration for optimal network performance. Now, in the area of innovative antenna systems, we expect that the research should address the practical challenges of implementing massive MIMO and beamforming in complex urban environments. The cell-free MIMO research should focus on principles and techniques of cell-free massive MIMO systems, enabling high capacity and interference resilient wireless communication. Under the ultra-massive MIMO, researchers should focus on practical implementation and optimizing the user experience within the realm of ultra-massive MIMO. Then the next area could be spectrum sensing, channel models and channel sounding, drone-based communications, and reconfigurable systems. So the expectations are that a joint development with Indian research partners and mutual exchange programs of researchers, technology development and demonstrations, development of prototypes, pilot scale demonstrations and field deployments to accelerate the technology transfer, and joint workshops and conferences, joint test beds for next generation technologies, joint contribution to global standards. And the proposals from the expectations, another expectation, proposals should be submitted with industry collaborations, including cash and in-kind contribution. So that would be encouraged as far as India is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Marwaji. And now we come to the last segment. I'll request Kamlesh to just give a brief view. Kamlesh?
Now I'm audible?
Yes.
Yes.
In the area of ITS, we expected the purpose in the specific area of CABs, ADAS, traffic management system, advanced traffic management system, V2X, intelligent traffic lights, emergency management and response, data management, analytics related to traffic and travel information system. We are expecting the US researchers to give the technology development demonstration in terms of prototypes, pilot scale demonstration, field deployment, and other efforts. And from Indian side, we are expecting that proposal submitted with the industry collaborations, including CAS and KIND. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamlesh. That was quick and brief. I think we'll be starting the polling also. You can look at the
Before we move, ma'am, I think we can give our workshop details, or we
Yes.
can
So
go to
I
the
think-
first NSF side and then we can move here.
I think let's first have the presentation from
Okay,
NSF
okay,
side,
okay,
and
okay.
then we can.
Okay.
So the participants can also respond to the polls that are there, and we can take the inputs from there. Thank you. So over to you, Dr. Mohan and Dr. Kate.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunita, and wonderful presentations by our Indian colleagues. So thank you so much for sharing that information with the community participating with us today. So we'd like to just take a very short amount of time to kind of gloss over some NSF participating programs, as well as share some more information about proposal submissions. And so as you can see, we have 3 different directorates participating in this call for proposals: our Computer and Information Science and Engineering, which Mohan will talk about. We have 2 multi-directorate programs that are also participating: our Cyber Physical Systems and our Secure and Trustworthy Cyberspace. We also have our Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences and our Directorate for Engineering participating. I would encourage all webinar participants to please go to the OISE International Collaborations India webpage for more detailed information. Also on our webpage, you will find a very full slide deck from our first webinar, where we have the programs with more specific information listed. Also, we are working to get the recording from the September webinar posted. We've hit some technical glitches, but we hope to have that posted within the next week. So that way you can hear from more program directors from NSF explaining these participating programs in more detail. So please go to that webpage for more information. Next slide, please. So for the Directorate for Engineering, we have 3 different divisions participating. So we have our Chemical, Biochemical, Engineering, and Transport Systems, or CBET. And under that division, their Environmental Engineering and Sustainability program is participating. We also have our Civil, Mechanical, and Manufacturing Innovation, or CMMI division participating. And you can see there are 3 topic areas, including communications, circuits and sensing systems, electronics, photonics and magnetic devices, as well as energy, power, control, and networks. So all of those topics fall under CMMI. And then our 3rd division participating from engineering is the Electrical Communications and Cyber Systems, or ECCS. So that's where you'll find advanced manufacturing and operations and designs. And once again, when you go to our website, you'll find much more detailed information about these programs and how you can, and what their program limitations are. Next slide, please. From our Mathematical and Physical Sciences, we have 1 division participating in this call for proposals, and that is our Division of Materials Research. And so they have a couple programs under this division participating: condensed matter physics, condensed matter and materials theory, solid state and materials chemistry, as well as a focus program on electronic and photonic materials. But really the primary initial focus area for this first call is semiconductors. And so I've seen semiconductors coming up in the chat. So we look forward to those proposals. Next slide, please. And now I'd like to turn it over to Mohan.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, MeitY colleagues, for all your wonderful presentations. I will talk briefly about the SAIS core programs, as well as the submission processes for the proposals. SAIS, as we already mentioned, stands for Computer, Information, Science, and Engineering. This is one of the 9 directorates at the NSF. And all the divisions in SAIS, that is Computer and Network Systems, Computing and Communication Foundations, Information and Intelligence Systems, as well as the Office of Advanced Cyber Infrastructure, are participating in this collaboration. As you can see, the MeitY colleagues have already identified 5 focus areas. We can see there is a match between these 5 focus areas, as well as the activities that take place in various computing programs. So all the proposers who have interest and activity in areas of focus that also overlap with any of the computing areas mentioned here are encouraged to write their proposals jointly. Next slide, please. In addition to the 3 divisions within SAIS, as well as the OAC, or the Office of Advanced Cyber Infrastructure in the SAIS division, SAIS is also actively involved in 2 cross-directorate or multi-directorate programs. One of them is CPS. CPS is one of the long-standing programs at the NSF. And CPS, as the name implies, Cyber Physical Systems, is the integration of computing, communication, and control into physical systems everywhere. So you can imagine specifically with the focus areas like green computing and sustainability, intelligent driver, intelligent transport systems, and several others, there is overlap with the activities that are happening in the CPS space. And CPS encourages proposals that basically interface between the computing, communication, control, as well as the physical systems. Next slide, please. Secure and trustworthy cyberspace is arguably the largest program at the NSF. It is led by the SAIS Directorate, but we have other directorates, including education, engineering, social, behavioral, and economic sciences, as well as math and physical sciences associated with the SATC program. So the SATC approaches security and privacy as a socio-technical problem-solving, socio-technical problem involving deep scientific and engineering problems. It also takes into account the vulnerabilities that arise due to human behaviors and human abilities. So as Kate mentioned, there are more detailed presentations of each one of these programs in our video recording, which will be up on the OISC site sometime next week. I request interested proposers to look into that video, as well as you can email us with more details. Unfortunately, we have to run through these slides today in the interest of time. Next slide, please. So I will spend a little bit more time on the instructions for the proposals. We expect all proposers to adhere to the proposal page limitations, the research areas in the specific program, the funding limitations, and award durations for the participating NSF programs. US proposers submitting to size core. Sorry, please go back to the previous slide. US proposers submitting to size core, CPS, and SITC programs must submit their proposals to the small project class and the OAC to the OAC core class. And budget limits are different for different programs. Please go to the solicitations and understand what the limits are and prepare your proposal and budgets accordingly. For US investigators, involvement in a joint international proposal must or rather will count towards the limitation of the number of submissions. As specified in the NSF program web page or program solicitation to which the proposal is submitted. And proposal should be submitted to relevant and to the relevant participating programs. Next slide, please. So US proposers must submit their proposals to the NSF using research.gov or grants.gov. A separate copy of the same proposal, by same proposal, I mean it should be identical in terms of the title, summary, description, and references, should be submitted by the India proposers to MeitY. There are agency-specific items such as budget, supplementary, and other required documents may be submitted separately to the two agencies. And please look at the two websites, the NSF websites, as well as the MeitY websites for more details. And the target date for the NSF proposers is January 5, 2024, and it is the deadline for MeitY proposers. Next slide, please. A little bit about the proposal review process. MeitY will check the Indian investigators for their eligibility and let the NSF folks know about eligible proposals that have been submitted to MeitY. And the proposals will be reviewed by experts contacted by the NSF. MeitY may recommend experts from India to participate in the proposal review process. Proposals submitted to the NSF will compete with other proposals received for the same funding round of the program to which the proposal is submitted. MeitY officials may attend and observe discussions as part of the merit review process. A parallel review will not take place at MeitY. Next slide, please. Proposal funding information. NSF will share outcome of review process with MeitY. MeitY will honor the NSF review process. NSF will honor MeitY inputs and insights on the review process. NSF intends to make awards to the US investigators, and MeitY intends to make awards to the Indian investigators. And we expect the outcome to be completed by July 2024. Next slide, please. Here is a list of questions. I will not read through all these questions. There may be some questions coming up on the chat, but please note that we do have some response to some of the frequently asked questions. So you can look at the URL that is there right at the top for more information. And we are focused on the areas that are mentioned by MeitY and also the programs, the NSF programs that are participating in this initiative. And the limitations with regard to number of proposals and budget limits are explained here as well. Can we go to the next slide, please? I will hand over to Kamlesh to just briefly give an
These are some questions, FAQs from the MeitY side, that when and where will the site be available? It is available on the MeitY website. Regarding the areas, already we have identified the areas. So if you're asking about the another area, that will come in the next joint call. Apart from this, regarding the PI of more than one proposal submission, currently we are fixing for one proposal as a PI, and he can be co-PI of 2 proposals at max. Regarding the budget part, the proposals will be supported up to 50 million rupees, that is 5 crore rupees by MeitY, and also equivalent grant from the NSF side. Regarding the industry requirement, the proposals submitted with industry letters of collaborations will be encouraged. These are the some questions that is also coming on the chat box. Now I move to the workshop part.
So all the participants are requested to also fill up the polls that are going on. So
for the matchmaking of the researchers, we are holding one workshop at Delhi on 2nd and 3rd November. The location we already have fixed. It is in Sushma Swaraj Bhavan at New Delhi, where we are expecting more than 100 researchers from both the countries will participate for better understanding and writing the joint proposals. In the workshop, we are trying to have separate sessions on each areas, and also we are having the breakout sessions for more discussion. It will help on writing the joint proposals. In addition to this, in the workshop, we are also planned for some future coming areas that maybe come for the second call. We are also having one session on the industry interactions and the IUCRC model of NSF. The link to register for the webinar is available, and you can also check at MeitY website. From there, you can register for the workshop. And if any issues raised, you can also text a mail to us so that we can sort out the issues. Now over to Sunita ma'am.
thank you, Kamlesh. I think we can move to the question answers, which we have received from various participants. If we can read out one by one. I think one I see is from Professor Gaurav Banerjee. If we bring in a circuit and system design project in semiconductors, where the circuit expertise will be brought in by the Indian PI and the system expertise by the US PI, is that acceptable? Or do both sides need to have the same expertise? So anyway, it is acceptable. It can be expertise in same area, or it can be complementing each other. So this will be acceptable to us.
Some of the areas that the Q&A we received.
Yes.
That one question is that I am 2022 pass out, and he's talking about individual proposals for the individual capacity, that this call is for the academics and not for the individual person can apply under this. So there should be the academic division, through that they can apply.
Yes.
We have.
I just would like to add to
Yes,
what Dr. Sunita Verma mentioned about the collaboration. The collaboration between the Indian and the US participants, the proposal, it should be very clear that this collaboration between these two groups will result in something more than the PIs working individually within India or within US. So it is important to demonstrate that this collaboration, this cross collaboration, will result in advances in that particular area with relevance to one of the 5 focus areas mentioned by MeitY. Okay, that should be clear. That should be very clearly illustrated in the proposals.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mohan. Yes, the roles and responsibilities of both of them should be very clearly mentioned with what they are bringing on the board with the collaboration effort. Yes.
One more question. Yeah, one more question, that is, are proposals in intelligent traffic signal management accepted? Yes, we accept that proposals, and these are the within areas of ITS. One question, we primarily work on sustainable and green technology for road materials, that bituminous. Can we submit a proposal looking at new sustainable technologies for road materials? Or is it purely concentrating on electronic sustainable materials? So we can.
I think we'll concentrate only on electronics and sustainable. So,
Yes, yes.
So this is our focus area for green and sustainable technologies.
Another question that is asked, that can a proposal touch on multiple areas, and do we need to indicate the area during the application process?
Yeah, I think Dr. Mohan, you can answer that, because from MeitY side, there is no constraint. It can be multi-facet also. If suppose I have a semiconductor chip in the ITS area, so it falls in the semiconductor research as well as the ITS, so that is acceptable. So we will look at the proposal, and based on that, we'll segregate in which area it will fall, according to the relevance, where it is more relevant.
Another question is, I work
Dr.
on.
Mohan, if you would like to add anything.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, what was the question?
Question was that if it is a if there is a proposal which is falling into multiple areas, so will that be acceptable or not? So I just gave an example of a semiconductor chip designed for an ITS application. So it can fall in either of the categories, but we look at the major category in which it falls, and then it can be, so they can propose which category they are they would like to submit. And we can look at the category from
right. So it depends on the focus of the proposal, as the program directors see in the proposal. But what happens in the NSF review process is, if there is a proposal that spans more than one area, the program directors will invite reviewers from different areas as well. And also it may be discussed if there is sufficient evidence in the proposal that it is advances knowledge in two different areas, for example, networking and systems, then they will be discussed in both the panels.
Thank you.
Another question. I work on biosensor based FET transistors for chronic diseases. Do I fall under semiconductor research? It seems like an application. So over to Nishit sir.
Can you repeat the question? I'm not able to see the question.
I work on biosensors based FET transistors, FET transistors.
That has been answered. That see, any technology area that has been mentioned here will obviously have many applications, right? So by the time the technology area is covering the areas indicated, it's good to go.
Okay.
So this has been answered already.
Okay. One more question that I already answered, that we are a Indian startup working in AI and quantum, hardware and software. In this call, what is the IP policy and IP sharing guidelines with collaborators between India and US academia and startups? That is already covered in our guidelines, and you can refer the guidelines.
We can take up the open questions. I think there are 7 of them. Can you please expand on the following expectation for Indian researchers? Proposals submitted with industry collaboration, including cash or kind, are encouraged. So since we are limiting the proposals, we will not be able to fund all the proposals that will be coming. So we will be encouraging and maybe giving preference to the proposals which have cash and kind contribution. So that is not the only criteria for selection, but preference or encouragement is there for the industry, where the industry is also putting in some funds or interest is there as an end user.
So I just would like to add that it is not required for US participants.
It is not required for US. Yes. It's only for the Indian. I would like to visit the US collaborator institution for short term, which will be supported from MeitY side. So you can make that as part of the proposal. So that can be looked into while we are reviewing the proposal. Can you help us in finding collaborators in US as we are not able to find partners? So the workshop which is proposed on 2nd and 3rd of November will essentially be to connect the US researchers with Indian researchers and in different areas. So you can look for the collaboration from your side, and you can also get that link during the workshop.
Kate, you like to answer something?
Yes, I'd just like to add, if you are looking for potential US collaborators, one thing that you can do right now is if you put into your search engine NSF award search. So that is an area where you can put in your topic of interest or what your research area is, and it will show you awards, current NSF awards that work on that topic. It will list the PI and a whole bunch of information, abstracts, more information about those projects. And so that's a very easy way that you could do now to start identifying US collaborators and reach out to them to determine their interest. Unfortunately, we cannot provide a list right now, so that's not something NSF can do, but you can use that award search. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. So the next one is for Sridhar Kotharwal. We plan to submit to green and sustainable area. Is there any requirement on industry partner type? We plan to take help from the waste recycler in terms of material storage, logistics, and prepares for developing e-waste recycling process.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, we can support. They are taking the help of this existing e-waste recycler. I think that will be very good for our proposal. I think it is welcoming step from our side.
Okay. Can we submit a proposal related to magnetic materials for sustainable and green technology?
Yeah, magnetic materials. Yeah, definitely we can have one proposal on all this is spent magnet. The extraction of rare earths like neodymium, we can have one proposal. We are already doing something in our country. So definitely we can have collaborative program on magnetic materials, recycling or extraction of rare earth from spent magnets. Definitely we can do.
Okay, thank you. Hi, we are allowed to procure hardware or software from the PIs in US side. I think this is for Dr. Mohan and Dr. Kate. Considering that PI may also have stake in the software firm from which Indian side might be interested to procure. If MeitY representatives can elaborate on COI.
COI means conflict of interest?
I think
yeah, so. COI means conflict of interest. Let me try to understand the question. Do they mean that it is the hardware and software that is developed as part of this collaborative project, or that exists beforehand? If it is beforehand, then it is. If it is beforehand, that is something. The collaboration is between the two universities. NSF does not. NSF or MeitY does not play a role there. So if you are already using some software that was developed earlier, there should be a memorandum of understanding between the two concerned universities. Please check with the research office of your universities. And I wanted to mention something else with regard to quantum technology. Quantum is not a part of this particular call for proposals with MeitY. So we are looking at it as a future, for inclusion in a future call, because there is demand.
Okay, so next question is on quantum only. Where is it? Okay. So next question is that we can submit a proposal on energy management, energy saving in EV as part of sustainable and green technology. No, where is it gone?
I think Om has answered. That's why it is disappearing from here.
Okay. How much is the cap for CapEx if it is justifiable? I think Nishit is answering that.
Already answering
So
that.
I was saying, it's always suggested to, write the name of the attendee so that, they can be addressed by their name. Thanks. So there's a ceiling of the overall budget of the proposal. However, there is no as such headwise ceiling prescribed, but any justified headwise requirement can be put in the proposal, which will be assessed and approved if required within the
Dr.
overall
Mohan,
ceiling
if
of
you
the
would like
proposal.
to add something on the CapEx part? Dr. Mohan or Kate? Yeah. Would you like to add something on this? Whether is there any ceiling on the capital investment in the overall project budget?
Yes, we do have for proposals coming into specific programs, you will need to go to the program description solicitations and be fully aware of what the maximum budget that can be requested is. It is different for the different programs. Some programs might be 500,000 US dollars, others might be 600, some are 300,000 US dollars. So you really need to make sure that you read the solicitation and the budget guidelines, please.
Yeah, please do read the solicitation, especially the budget deadline, budget guidelines, as well as the number of proposals you can submit in a year. So these are two important things that we do have challenges with when we receive proposals.
Okay. Next question is NSF and MeitY proposal structures are different and we need to submit the same proposal from both sides. Could you please elaborate?
Again, as I said, the proposals will be, should be identical as far as title, the summary, project description, and project description is typically 15 pages, and it should be according to the NSF program guidelines, as well as references. So these items have to be identical. The rest of it should be agency specific. Like MeitY has some requirements and NSF has some requirements, and you have to submit those documents accordingly.
Yeah, thank you. Are proposals accepted in precision timing device research, atomic clock, etc., for quantum communication and or high-speed communication? I think Marwaji or Prakash, you need to answer this.
Prakash is already answering, ma'am. Prakash is answering.
Okay, okay.
So in general, for NSF is about advancing knowledge in a given area, right? So the proposal that you write is relevant to one or more of the 5 areas identified by MeitY. But the work that you do carry out in the proposal should advance knowledge in one of the areas. So even if it is quantum, right? So if it is advancing knowledge in a program in computing and communication foundations, it is relevant to NSF, but not in this particular collaboration with MeitY, because it is not one of the 5 focus areas in the MeitY collaboration.
Right. So if you're limiting to high-speed communication, maybe
I mean, high-speed communication is definitely
quantum
relevant.
communications. Yes.
Yeah.
So how long time to take review of submitted proposal when it is starting, when the starting date of proposal, if it was selected?
We already have in our FAQ the June 2024. We are expecting to have all the process completed.
Yeah.
And I think we can take one more question last, as time is already up.
Mhm.
So
I believe the NSF CNS core and CPS SATC program encourage fundamental research, while MeitY is interested more in prototype development, field deployment, commercialization, etc. Do you have any suggestions how to balance both in the proposal? Okay.
I think the Nirmalya's question, I think the key point here is NSF requires advancing knowledge in a given area of research, whereas in the MeitY collaboration, we would like the collaborators to carry out research to demonstrate the applicability of the research that is carried out through prototyping and testbed and so on. So that is in collaboration with the Indian colleagues and that should be demonstrated in the proposal.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. I think we have been able
time is
to
up. Now
answer
I'm
all the
stopped.
questions in time. Yes. Thank you. So thank you to all the participants and our colleagues from NSF and from MeitY for in this webinar. And we are looking forward to a very good response for our workshop, which will be held in the physical mode as well as in the hybrid. It will be in the hybrid mode also on 2nd and 3rd of November in New Delhi. We'll be having experts over from NSF and US and also from India side. Looking forward to it.
One more
Thank
point
you.
I'd like to add, we invite the US researchers to come and join in the workshop and be the part of, so that we have a good research community that come together for both the countries and we will get a good proposals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.